There is so much we can do to register our disapproval and to change the debate. I think Nancy Pelosi is going about this the wrong way. We already know that President Biden tried to dissuade her from going to Taiwan, but she's still gone nevertheless. How extraordinary is that? And she's gone in defiance of very stern words from the Chinese government. Now, I'm not an appeaser at all. I think there's a time to stand up to aggression. There's a time to stand up to tyranny. I think we're already in the middle of that. We're standing up to Mr. Putin, but at the same time, I would say absolutely 100% that we need those lines of communication to be open. We need to be talking, and we need to be talking right the way to the top. And it's only by talking that we're going to achieve anything. Even if we were in a diplomatic freeze-off, even if we were at war, we would still end up having to talk in the end, so why not do this now? And headline hunting, which as far as I can see is all Miss Pelosi is doing, does not help. We need to be finding solutions, building bridges, forging relationships. This is why I am absolutely 100% and more committed to educating people from other countries, to bringing people over to the UK and to introducing them to our values and our systems. And not only can they learn from us, but we can learn from them. And this is why for so many years now, I've detested the hostile environment that Mrs. May set up, that compromised everything we do in education, because education isn't about giving people a particular set of textbooks. Education is about developing a relationship, and that relationship goes on beyond the exam. Once the exam happens, we don't just throw people out into the wilderness or back into the country from which they came. We want them to leave our country as ambassadors for our values. And we want to have learnt about their values. We want mutual understanding. We want better cooperation. We want to ensure that the next generation that is ruling Russia, that is ruling China, that is ruling North Korea, that is ruling Iran, that the next generation is more friendly to us, that we are more friendly to them. We cannot keep going on in this present form, rattling sabres on both sides. This is the business of the last century, and we should know better. If we continue this poking of the bear, whether that's the Russian bear or the Chinese panda, we are going to end up in war. And we don't need that. And as I say, I'm not an appeaser. I'm a realist. And the friends that I have made in Russia and China are friends I hope I have for life. And I don't want to impose, quote, Western values on them. I want them to share my Western values. I want them to teach me their values. I want a synthesis. And I think it's possible. Certainly when I was living in Russia and teaching in Russia, I learnt so much about such a rich, valuable culture, a vibrant culture that is in Moscow. And I know the same is true in Beijing and across China and across Russia and certainly across Iran. These are countries with proud histories, and we are foolish if we think we are infinitely superior to that. We are not. We are not. Our history only goes back 1,000 years. Chinese history goes back before that. Well, maybe our history goes back a bit more than 1,000 years, but not much more. Not much more. Our monarchy goes back 1,000 years. Before that, we were Anglo-Saxons. And as you plod through the Anglo-Saxon history, it becomes harder and harder to find text to prove what we thought. Maybe we can get back 2,000 years if we try really hard, but China can go back with ease far before that. We need to learn. And Nancy, oh my goodness. She steps off a plane of disaster and self-serving obsession. It is all about tomorrow's headlines. And we should be thinking about building bridges, not printing newspapers.